Welcome to Angry Appliance Repair Person. For the record, you're looking at him. So, this presentation will be about the dryer. A lot of people have complained that the dryer will not dry the laundry effectively. Whether they are putting it on certain cycles, that will make a difference. So, when you are drying a load of clothes, it depends on how you separate the laundry. If you separate it at all, this shirt is going to dry differently than a pair of jeans. So, with that being said, you have to decide how to set your dryer correctly to be able to get it to dry the best it can. Keep in mind that this shirt is going to dry faster because of the fabric it's made of versus a pair of jeans. So, what you want to make sure that you understand is the shirt will dry faster than the jeans if you dry them together. And the dryer, whether it is electronic and has a computer or it is a regular timer, they still have automatic settings. So if you try to dry the jeans and the shirt at the same time, the shirt could definitely dry faster than the jeans. If it's a computer model, you may have an issue where the jeans will be a little damp, but the shirt is dry. That means there's a moisture sensor in the dryer, and the moisture sensor could have picked up the shirt, not the jeans, telling the computer, hey, I'm dry, let's turn off. So it turns off. The problem is when you try to dry fabrics that are not the same, in the same load, that's going to happen. Now, the time dry cycle works a little better. The time dry cycle, you decide. You want it for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes. You make the decision. So if you put it on the time dry cycle, it will have an easier time drying a mixed load, depending on what you're trying to do. I admit the automatic cycles save power because they will only dry till the sensor tells it to stop drying. So they are more efficient. But most of the time you get better results on a mixed load if you use the time dry cycle. Keep that in mind. Now, for drying times in general, anytime a dryer takes longer to dry, it's almost always the vent. The symptoms are very simple. A load of clothes that used to take 35 minutes now takes 65 minutes, and they're still not really dry. And the top of the dryer gets very, very hot when you touch it. Don't call a serviceman. That means the dryer has a clogged vent. The vent has lint in it, or there's lint buildup that the dryer cannot get rid of the airflow correctly. Therefore, it builds up inside the dryer and trips the safety. So, you need to make sure that vent is clean. Now, some vents are very short, makes it very easy. Some vents are very long. So, if you turn your dryer on, nothing in it. Go outside to where the vent is coming on, put your hand there while the dryer is running. You should feel good air. If you don't, that means that the vent is clogged. The dryer won't work very well. So you need to get the vent clean. Now, a lot of homeowners forget that a lot of these newer dryer vent caps have a fence on the bottom that you have to take the fence off every so often and clean the lint out. The fence is there, so you do not have to worry about animals getting into your vent and creating a nest, making a home in there. So you basically want to be able to make sure that the vent is clean, because you'll pay a serviceman to come out there just to clean the vent. That also applies to the lint filter in the dryer. Now, everyone should be very diligent in taking the lint filter out after every load. Yes, most people know that. But what some people don't know is when you take the lint filter out, you are going to put lint into what we call the box down there, where that lint filter sits. And if you do that, that lint will build up over time. If you open your door, remove your lint filter, take a flashlight and shine it down there, and see what the lint looks like down there. If it looks really built up, you've got to clean it. The best way that I have found to clean it is definitely what we call a refrigerator coil brush. Almost every hardware store has a coil brush. It is a brush with thin bristles. You can stick it in there, shake the lint around, bring the brush out, vacuum it, put it back in, shake it around some more, so you can get all that lint cleaned out of that box. The shorter your vent is, the less likely you will have lint in that box. The longer your vent is, it's going to be harder for it to get out. So that lint will build up in that box more frequently, that you will have to take out the filter and look in there and clean it out. Again, the brush works very well. So the cycle selection makes a difference. Gas dryer, electric dryer, gas dryers do dry a little bit faster, but it is about the same. It really doesn't make that much of a difference. But they all have that vent that you have to keep clean, as well as making sure that you have everything set correctly. Yes, smartest man in the house. I'm getting to that point. So the way that the dryer works and the way that the dryer dries your laundry, sometimes it does help. The load size can make a difference. So if you have only 3 pieces of laundry in there, you might want to put it on the time dry. If you have 25 pieces of laundry in there, you might be able to use the automatic dry. Now, most dryers, when you open the door, you will be able to see where the sensor is. It's usually just a small little thing with 2 metal bars. Most of the time it'll be on the back or it will be on the front under the lint filter. If you're using the automatic cycles, the pieces of laundry must hit that sensor bar. If it doesn't hit that sensor bar, there's going to be, the computer will not know that it is getting dry. So it will sense whatever piece of laundry is hitting it. If it's my shirt, it's going to shut off if it's already dry. If it's the jeans, the shirt could be over dry, and depending on the fabric, it may shrink. So make sure that when you are trying to decide the type of cycle to use, you judge it based on the type of laundry you're putting in. Again, as I always say, the use and care guide can be helpful, so can the manufacturer's website if you choose to go there. But don't blame the dryer when your dryer does not dry your jean, but it dries your shirt if you're putting them in together. And do not blame the dryer if it is taking a long time to dry before you check your vent, because you can save some money don't having the serviceman come out when you can, or possibly have someone do it for you. There are companies out there that do clean vents. The one last thing that I do want to mention, and this is just a tip, I'm not saying you have to do this, and I don't want you to hurt yourself trying to do it. But I have discovered that electric leaf blowers work very well. You pull the dryer out, you stick an electric leaf blower into the dryer vent behind the dryer and turn it on. And that will help blow the lint outside. It can be effective, especially if the vent run is not that long. So I don't want you hurting yourself. I'm saying the disclaimer right now. I'm not telling you to do it, but it is something that I have done in the past for some of my customers, and it has worked very well with blowing it out with an electric leaf blower. Now, for the senile thought each week, I want to talk about Made in the USA. Made in the USA is a phrase that lots of companies throw around. And some, and I hope most, Americans want their products to be made in this country. I love this country. So I am hoping that most of the products people try to buy are made in the USA. But it is difficult for a consumer to be able to know, is this really made in the USA? In appliances specifically, and I'm pretty sure that this carries over with a lot of things, there are a lot of items that are assembled in the USA, but not necessarily made in the USA. To me, made in the USA means the metal, the plastic, the rubber comes from this country, not just bringing it shipped over from another country and assembled here. I like to see made in the USA means from the start of the product to the end of the product, it's here. It is not parts shipped in from another country and put together here. So the two things that you can do is a lot of times companies are getting better with this, where they will say assembled in the USA. If that's what it says, that means that it's like a piece of put together furniture that you put together, because you live in the United States and you are assembling a piece of furniture in your house. You are assembling it in the USA. There are a lot of companies that do that, where they ship the parts over and then they assemble them here in a plant and then sell it to you. Another way to try to check, almost every product will have a model serial number plate. On the plate, a lot of times it will tell you where it came from. The country that it was built in will be on the plate. It will say made in the USA or made in whatever country you want to insert there. That is another way that you, as the consumer, can tell if that product is made in the United States or not. When I try to do research, I use the internet to try to help me figure out what is the best way I can buy made in the USA parts. And with those parts, I know they're being assembled in the USA, so the whole product itself is made in the United States. So, next time you're going out and you're buying something, you can always use that to try to figure out, is it actually made in the United States, or is it just being parts shipped over and assembled here? Think about it. So, as always, we thank you for spending some of your day with us.